All right, so we've got our backdrop set up. The next thing we need to do is start working on our sprites. And again, Mr. Kizuka is doing the most important of the sprite videos, that player sprite. So that Mr. Kizuka video, you're definitely going to watch and make sure that you check out and you set up your player sprite exactly as Mr. Kizuka is walking you through it. That's a pretty exciting, pretty interesting, and it's going to be a pretty fun sprite once we get that in place. So what we're going to do, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to click on my start screen. That's only because that's what I want to look at right now. Because I'm going to add a couple sprites. And both of the sprites, well, the first two sprites I'm going to do using the paint option, right? So I'm going to make a sprite. I'm going to make that sprite by painting. So I'm clicking there. And here's my new paint window. And I'm going to make a button, a start button, and I'm going to change the color of this. I want to make a nice light blue backdrop. I do want an outline. This time I want a nice deep dark black outline. I want that 4 pixels wide. That's going to be nice to look at. So first thing I'm going to do is I've got my rectangle tool selected. I'm going to click and drag a box. And once I have that box, see that plus sign in the middle? I want to line up that plus sign with the middle of my window. That's going to make sure that I center everything nice and neat, and it's going to put everything in the middle of my view, which is a good place for us to have it. So you can see again my box here. It's got that black outline. Looks exactly the way I want it. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to click on the text tool, and right now my text would be the same color as my box. That's not a good thing. So I'm going to change the color of my text to be something other than the color of my box, which in this case, I'm just looking at black. You can also change the type of text I want, but for now, ooh, I like Pixel. That makes me smile. I was going to keep it, but Pixel's too much fun. So once I've got my text selected, I'm going to click where I want to type, and I'm going to type what I want my text to say. Start game. Okay. Now again, I'm going to go to my selection tool, which is that arrow in the upper left corner of my toolbox. And you can see again, I got that plus sign, right? On my text right there. If I click that plus sign and drag it to that center of the screen, you can see again, I'm matching those things up, and that's going to make things work really well. Everything is centered here on my screen, and that's a good move. Now I'm going to drag a box around everything, and now I have the box and the text both selected. I'm going to click on the group button to make them into one item, not two separate items, but one item. That's going to be an important move. So those two are grouped together. This is my start button sprite. I'm going to name it. Instead of sprite 1, I'm going to name it start button. So start button. It's exactly what my sprite is. So giving sprites and backdrops names that are significant and mean something in my game is a really important step to do. So that's this first sprite. I'm going to set up my start button. Nicely done. And we'll see what's next.